Okay, we are back from our break, and like I said before the break, we've managed to survive for 6 months. We got in the RV, we head toward Mequon, we continued to head north. We decided, over the break, we should say, to our audience, we decided that we would actually be, well, Tony, what did we decide?
We were sort of perusing the...
Now that we had transportation.
Right, we have transportation, at least one tank of gas, probably more we could get from an abandoned gas station, but still within a car. Yeah, exactly. Or siphon a car, still within a reasonable driving distance, etc. We were looking for a place, specifically not high population, proximity to water.
Yep.
And an abundance of sort of natural, not only cover, but resources in other ways.
And we've been surviving just fine for 6 months. I should point out that essentially at this point we kind of have the staples of life. You know what I mean? We haven't been lucky enough to find any more luxuries, but you know, we all are dressed accordingly at this point. Everyone has. Krista-Lee, unfortunately, 6 months ago was in a dress and tights. Now she's been able to upgrade, if I may, to jeans and whatnot.
Yeah, your reasonable survival stuff.
And we've been doing all right. Yeah. So, and with that said, we've been slowly traveling north. We decided to go,
even though north, actually.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And why did we want to go? Why, it's so much colder up north. Why would we want to do that? Anyone?
That's one of the big points. I think
we talked about this a little bit over the break, and I'm just trying to set us up back up here.
Yeah. So, if I may, my suggestion, if you head south, or I mean, there are certainly benefits to being in a warm. I know people don't like this word sometimes. I apologize if you don't. Moist area.
I would say moist.
Damp.
Moist.
Humid.
Yeah.
Humid climate.
Less. At first, there's less elements to deal with for survival. It would seem.
It would certainly. Yeah, it would certainly do that. It could speed up decay in some way. Now, that being said, it is also October in Wisconsin. We are much closer to a cold climate than we are a warm climate.
Yes, but now we're coming out of spring. We're 6 months later.
Sure, but for the winter, the reason we were able to get a foothold, if you think about zombies, you're dead. You no longer have an internal heating system. You also no longer have circulatory system, so all your blood's kind of going to pool in your feet.
Yep.
And it's cold enough here that you would freeze as a zombie.
Past plenty of frozen zombies.
So we'll just say that zombies were largely immobile in the area where we traveled to the past 6 months, which allowed us to get a foothold, get all of our essentials.
So we decided to aim for, I'm going to say it wrong. Do you remember how to say this national park? State park?
Chequamegon National Forest.
Chequamegon National... I still said it wrong.
Chequamegon.
Chequamegon.
It is...
Chequamegon.
It is just southeast of Duluth, Minnesota, or just due south of Ashland, Wisconsin.
Indeed. So we've decided to aim up that way. We've been driving that way for, I don't know, about a day so far. Things are going pretty good. We are all in pretty good spirits, but we know that let's face it, the RV over the last 6 months have been fine. We've been able to survive, but it's getting a bit tight, and I think we kind of have the idea that maybe we can find some other place to live, some place that's not around any population, really minimizing the population. Maybe we can get out of this RV. It's starting to get a little musty.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun, but we head north. We're hoping to maybe find like a ranger's cabin or something like that, I feel. So we head up into the forest and we're driving around. We park the RV. We aren't out of gas just yet, but as we walk around, we're looking around. In the evening, we finally see what looks to be a ranger's cabin in the forest. We passed a couple campsites. Thought maybe putting the RV there. Ultimately, we wanted to keep looking. We find this ranger's cabin. It's clearly not a private cabin. It looks to be something that's connected to the park. Frankly, I don't know if it's going to be very well stocked because of that. We'll see. Certainly, it's not someone's vacation home.
No, but it probably has, I would say, a first aid kit, some water. It probably has a few canned goods.
Yeah.
There's probably emergency rations in there.
And a good amount of communication tools.
Yes.
So we would have radios and things.
Possibly, I agree.
And
I should note that it's near a river. It's not exactly on a river, and it's certainly not. We all decided we did not want to find something that was actually on Lake Superior's actual coastline, because someone pointed out over the break we'd be essentially walled in if we'd be only one direction to go, really, right?
Right.
Correct.
Unless we built ourselves a castaway raft.
We did consider that or that option, but yeah.
But we couldn't find any porta potties.
Right. Heyo.
Anyway.
No Wilsons.
No Wilsons. So we find the shed, or we find the cabin. We go inside, and no one's there. We're not too worried about it. It's been a while. We've gotten used to this kind of lifestyle and everything like that. But the first thing we find, we're very excited, to find the K9 Skytrack.
I have a reasonable argument for this, but go ahead.
All right. So the K9 Skytrack is usually retails for about $40. It's the only portable packable dog run that provides dynamic resistance so that your dog doesn't get hurt when it reaches the end of the leash at speed. Again, I'm quoting Gear Junkie here. On a side note, I want to say that 7 months ago in our story here, I went camping with my sister and brother-in-law, and they had 2 dogs. We had a very nice campsite, and my nieces were there. I was very lucky to go do some fall camping with my nieces back then. 2 dogs, both on their own 50-foot cable leashes.
Yeah.
You can only imagine the insanity that ensued from that, and the strategy, the puzzle game of where those dogs should be anchored and what they shouldn't or shouldn't pass. Right. The amount of times lawn chairs got knocked over and tables got knocked over and little girls got tripped was off the charts. So a K9 Skytrack in that situation would be great. I don't know. Do we need it here? We're probably going to stay in this cabin, I think, right? What do you guys think?
It's essentially rope. Why would you get rid of it?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I should be clear. We haven't even gone inside the cabin yet, even though if I might have said that. We're finding this outside. I'm not even sure how we're going to approach the cabin yet.
Is the dog
but we see
still
this.
on the leash?
There's no dog on the leash.
Okay.
Here's what I would argue. We keep it intact and use it for any Walking Dead fans out there, essentially as Michonne does.
Yep.
That was my first idea.
To hook up, essentially you're hooking up a zombie to then freely roam to not only mask scent or otherwise,
I love it.
but sort of distract from us as a target.
Yeah.
In this cabin.
If this cabin's safe, I know I said we went in there, but I'm retracting that a little bit. We're still outside the cabin. We find this. If this cabin is safe, that might be an excellent zombie shield or a zombie camouflage, really.
Like using another zombie.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
and also it might keep away other humans.
Yeah. Very true.
Because at this point, I don't want anybody.
Even, some humans could kind of be like, well, obviously a human hooked that zombie up to it, or maybe not. But
we would assume that a zombie couldn't notice it was on a leash, essentially.
Yeah, and also I like this kind of like resistant tugging thing because the zombie can't just rip itself out of it. It can't push so hard that it rips an arm off and then can still come after us, kind of thing. I'm serious.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I
It's
like
very
it.
morbid, but yeah.
And we can always hook up more.
Let's hook up a zombie.
Yeah.
Let's hook up a zombie. If we want to stay here, I think we actually might keep this thing. We'll leave it outside for now.
Zombie.
Yeah,
we'll leave it
we
outside.
can
I don't know
leave it
who
where it
has it. I don't think anybody has it right now. But this story's getting bigger than
I'm
what
not
we're
sure we
carrying on
need
ourselves.
it. Yeah, I'm not sure we need it to be mobile. We really only would use this, I think, if we had a solid base of operation.
It makes a good
absolutely.
alarm system as well.
So there's a little shed. There's a little shed out back behind the cabin, and we have the cabin. It looks like there's really only one entrance to this cabin in the front. There might be a back door, but we've circled around. We haven't found it. Maybe there's a basement latch or anything. What do you think? What's our strategy here? The RV is half a day's walk away, by the way. Remember.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Cautiously.
What do we do?
carefully.
Being a ranger station, I would not expect there to be enough people inside that it would overpower us.
Yeah. All right. So what? We go to the front door. We go to a window. Break through a window.
Well, let's peek in the
We
windows.
have wide open space, so I say open the door, retreat slightly to see if anything comes out.
I'm liking
then you
this.
can pick them off one by one.
Oh, I
Guys,
love this
I
plan.
think about this stuff a lot.
I love this
But
plan.
hold on, I think we should start. Do that after peeking in the windows, like V mentioned.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So we peek
Yeah,
in the
can't see
windows,
anything.
then do the open door.
Look in the window. We're not seeing much in there.
All right. So whoever.
You want to go for it, Tony?
is-
I'm ready
you're-
with my
You
shovel.
have the spear, right?
still
And you
have
have the
my shovel.
shovel.
I mean,
You
6 months
guys.
I think
still
V
got-
has the spear.
V now has a spear.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I definitely need a long distance weapon because I'm small and it could
Here it is, Tony. This is what we'll do. This is what we'll do. You grab the door. I'll take the other side. Anything
Yeah.
comes out, I'll give it a smack.
Yeah.
And then V comes
Finishing
in for the
blow.
kill.
Yeah.
I think we've actually got a decent
I
strategy.
stand
here.
on
think-
the roof and I go and I do like a puff.
You're going to roof it? Oh,
I do like that. I do like Link's down A in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
where he
right.
brings the sword down.
yeah, that sounds good.
I would say
Yeah!
from a sheer size standpoint, I don't speak to any other way, but I might be the most able to defend myself physically should it come to that. So I will use myself as bait because speed is not as important in this case.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I got the shovel. I'm ready to grab it.
Exactly.
So
And I'm standing back because I'm just the pack mule.
you're our medic. You're not a pack mule.
I'm just standing there
Medic class
shrugging.
You're our
pack mule.
lifesaver. You're the one that
Alright.
keeps us alive, Krista-Lee. I don't know. I mean, it's.
You hold
I mean,
the power.
you kind of set your fate there by carrying the backpack.
I know that's true, but that's because as we're going along, I'm like putting berries and stuff in there. I didn't know we were going to have an RV eventually. Otherwise, I might not have taken the backpack. But I prefer to think of myself as a
Hey,
cleric.
it's still
I think
wise.
that's still
Healing
an
the
essential.
party.
Yeah.
item,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. V's kind of like a random. V's very like Yoda episode 2. Like.
I'll just run around and hit things.
Especially now that she's equipped with a spear.
Yeah.
And we all
Dangerous.
I can think we all can assume we have random blunt objects, whether it just be a
Absolutely.
rock.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I
Absolutely.
definitely
Something
prefer
like that.
So we
blunt
looked in the
objects over
windows.
guns
We
in
couldn't
this
quite see.
situation.
There certainly
No
wasn't any
guns.
life in there. There wasn't any lights on or anything like that. We go to the door. Tony, you give it a little tap, just to rustle up whatever we need to rustle up.
Yep.
We wait for a little bit. We listen. We hear a shuffle. Not sure what that means yet.
Could be a raccoon.
Tony goes for
be.
it. He swings the door open, and a raccoon runs out of the
It's always
cabin.
the raccoons.
Oh, it startles us all. We scream a little bit. At which point, a zombie ranger comes out full throttle,
It's the old switcheroo.
jumps onto Tony Stiglich.
No.
I go for
They
it
were
with the shovel.
conspiring.
I go for it. I miss once. I miss twice. I wind up and I bat that zombie head. And he falls to the floor. V jumps from the ceiling of the cabin, which somehow she's been able to get up onto the roof.
It's one of those. It's like a Lincoln Log house where I can.
Yeah,
get,
she
I can
climbed
get
it like a
full
Lincoln
room,
Log, yeah.
Wait, when
Yeah.
you missed, did you hit Tony?
I was
Throw
gonna
me.
say.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Then I made some quip afterwards about him narrowly missing me.
Okay.
I'm not fast enough to think of one now, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
we're
some kind of
good.
like Falco style clip.
Sure.
And
Maybe I call him Bagger Vance. I don't know.
There it
Something
is.
like that.
All right.
V jumps down and knife to the head.
Yeah, or spear.
Spear to the head.
I'm feeling spear.
It spears through the ranger hat. She pulls back. Ranger hat comes off.
I've got a
And now add ranger hat to your inventory.
Shishka Yes, I wear. It's got like a hole in it, but I wear it anyway.
Skewered ranger hat.
There you go.
Wait, shouldn't you put that up for decoration outside?
There you go.
My
A warning.
goodness.
Ranger hat on a pike.
Guys, I don't
There
know.
you
We might have acted a little too fast. Maybe this could have been the zombie that we could have used as our shield.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but given the
Uncertainty.
sudden attack,
That too.
Yeah, freaking raccoon.
I would say better safe than sorry in this case.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. We'll go find ourselves something else to suit up to that canine track.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can.
All right,
We'll
so we
get the
go
raccoon.
inside.
I was just gonna say like a zombie animal, raccoon.
I'll put a
canine,
deer on
whatever.
there.
Deer.
Zombie
Somehow
deer.
I feel way worse about that.
So
than I
far
do
we've
the
noticed-
entire population of the U.S.
So
being
far, we
wiped
couldn't
out.
help but notice that the zombie logic that's happening in the real world seems to be closer to the Romero zombies, not the Walking Dead zombies. It seems that zombies aren't interested in eating anything other than humans.
Okay.
That's what we've observed over the last 5 or 6 months.
Cool.
Yes.
Hence, I mean, the raccoon was fine.
So
raccoon was
let's-
like, "Let me out of here!"
Right.
Well, and not all viruses are transferable between animals. So even
Yep.
if they were trying to eat
true.
something, it might not be able to be carried.
True. So we go inside. We take a look around. There's not much there. Humble living. But we go to the bottom drawer of a dresser and we find Nike Blaze running gear.
Night Blaze. It's not Nike. ATE.
Night
So
Blaze.
easily confusable. Night Blaze.
Night Blaze running gear, reflective running gear, and armbands, so that you can be seen while you're running along the highway. Is this anything? Do we want this?
I, in this cabin, think back to a time when civilization was still alive, perhaps this very night, and say, I looked at this stuff for biking. It is super awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had it before the world crumbled.
Yeah.
Essentially, readers or listeners may be able to see a picture. If not, it outside of illumination, the shirt just looks black. There's no sort of indication as to its reflective capabilities, but when a light is shown upon it, it turns into this highly reflective. It looks like sort of lightning.
I suppose they could do the pattern any way they wanted.
And the ones that I looked at did. Actually, they were all in all different patterns. But
Yeah.
these are very cool. They're a little expensive for
Agreed.
me right now, but I one day hope to purchase something like this.
Is there any version where we would need to use this? And we're going to hang on to it. I think it's looking like we might stay here, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we leave it in the cabin, but I don't really see this being useful given our current situation.
I would say as a base layer, or perhaps if we were to...
Let's talk about this. It's only reflective when like lights are shown on it. Does that include moonlight, or is that more like would you be fine in the forest, but if you are trying to get a human's attention, it could be a signal.
I don't know the answer to that.
You know what I mean?
I would
I'm
what
still
style of
in
light
the
is it all?
mindset
There are some drawbacks and
that I don't want
benefits
humans
to
to see me.
Yeah, like if we're out on some sort of scouting like group team thing, it's good. Like if we're suspicious of a noise, we shine a flashlight over where it is, and okay, that's just Tony.
That's
Because
true.
of that
It
shirt.
could be a
That's
way
really
to
great.
signal between us, seeing
If we know
as
it's
how
ourselves.
Differentiate from
Yeah.
I tell you what, last year
Okay.
we had a weird entry where it was color-coded laser pointers,
Oh, sure.
and people would use that for communication. That's not
Yeah,
in tonight's story,
But say one of us ventures out into the woods, how do the
Yes.
other three know that we are not an encroaching zombie?
You hear
something like this.
You hear leaves
It's an interesting
crunching on the way
idea.
to
all right,
back
let's
to
hang
camp.
let's hang on to this, and we'll use it for like our short trips. You know, you're just going out there to chop some wood, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because apparently
I like
you
it.
guys are going to do that at night.
I mean,
I'm not. I'm staying in the cabin.
okay, you're not chopping wood, but fine. You know, when you have to, if you have to be outside for some reason,
I'm just teasing.
you're checking the perimeter. You're doing your perimeter watch or
Just
something.
Going to the
because
outhouse.
while we're at a disadvantage, the zombies are also at a disadvantage.
True.
So,
It's true, absolutely. So, how do you guys feel about these The Crush water shoes that we also find next to the reflective shirt? This is a very active park ranger, I think. He was an excited
Yeah.
kind of guy.
yeah.
Usually they retail for about $80. They're draining water shoes. You can wear them barefoot. You can wear them with socks. Kind of have a feel of a sandal. We are going into the summer here. We are near a river.
This is definitely wise. These kind of lakes around this area do pose a danger of cutting your feet open on clams and such when
true.
you're slogging around in the water. I've had that.
Can I tell you
happen
guys a
to
real life
cousin.
story? I wish I could show you right now on the podcast. I have a scar on my
Oh, I've
chest.
seen this scar. Yeah.
Have I showed it to you?
Yeah.
From a clamshell
Yeah.
at the bottom of a lake up in this region.
My cousin cut his foot clean open when diving off a pier in the North Woods.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're nasty. So, like my grandma will never let us go into the lake without.
We were
them.
in. I was with my nieces a couple years ago, and we were just swimming in like 2 feet of water, 3 feet of water, maybe 4 feet if you really kind of get out there a little bit. And my niece was like, "Uncle David, dive in." I was like, "Well, no, I don't need to dive or anything like that." I was already in the water, maybe up to my waist. She said, "No, you should go underwater." I said, "Okay." So I just kind of just loosely dove in, went down, bumped my sternum, I guess, right? That area,
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
sternum or
Abdomen.
diaphragm almost, like underneath the ribs here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just kind of bumped it into the sand and really didn't feel much of anything, but I felt like this kind of gash, you know what I mean? Came back up and sure enough, I was bleeding. And I have a scar to this day from that.
Yeah.
From a shell. From a broken shell or something.
Yeah.
And you know what was tricky about it? It wasn't even a deep cut, but because it was river water, it took a month or two to
infected,
really,
yeah.
truly. It wasn't a
Yeah.
deep infection, but it was surface. It was not good. You know, we had
Those
to
aren't
really.
nice.
I kept it clean and stuff, but
Those are
I have a
not
scar.
nice.
So we've got these water shoes.
Especially since we depend so much on fish for food
For protein.
in the neighboring lakes. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
these
for
are a
it.
keeper.
I think we hang on to it
for sure.
So are we still one thing we haven't figured out? Are we still like divvying up who takes these right now? We're all kind of living together. We have storage now.
I
That's
think
the thing
we
that's
now
different.
have like a group kind of feel to it.
We'll
where
put it in
we're
storage.
not
Yeah,
much
here's
on
here's what I would suggest though. I think we should have everything generally, or at least some things generally kept in 4 packs for if we're going to run.
That's what I would say.
Let's do this.
It's important to have a plan in the case of needing to be mobile, so maybe these are the things we're now responsible for.
Yes. Let's keep adding them to our inventory, our inventory being what we are now responsible to grab, whether they're in a bag or not.
Right.
So who takes the water shoes?
So how about we give them to me, or do I not wear my slippers anymore? Did I find shoes?
Oh
my God.
Oh, sir, I found pants. I found shoes.
If we said that we now have staples, you found some tennis shoes.
Right, okay.
Some regular tennis shoes
No
that
doubt.
still aren't, still get soaking wet in water and all
Sure.
that.
Who likes to fish the most?
V?
I really like fishing.
You do?
Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't.
V gives up her shoes
On the record,
to
I hate
Crystal.
fishing.
Yeah.
V knew the real name for a muskie.
That's
That
true.
means
Yeah.
she is our main fisher
good
He's
one.
responsible for these.
Okay.
So
And playfully, we'll just assume that technically any of
your
us could
shoes
wear
go
them.
to Crystal-Lee.
Crystal-Lee.
You
Okay.
take these shoes. Cool.
So Crystal-Lee's got the super waterproof ones now.
Yeah.
Moving it
Oh,
over.
no, I have the waterproof one. She has the running shoes.
Oh, yes.
That's how it's going.
Very good.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't even
Isn't that-
explored the entire cabin yet.
That's weird.
We've looked around a little bit, and we go make our way to the back of the cabin. We find the kitchen, and we are very happy to find a don't spill a drop flask.
Ooh, what's in the flask?
So let's actually, just for the fun of it, because I mean,
We're from
Mr. Whiskey
Wisconsin.
Man,
We all
what might
deserve a drink,
What
right?
might we find up in that region? Would you have any idea?
I'm trying to think of distilleries in the area. There aren't a ton, but if I had to guess,
Even a simple one.
What the most common drink up there would be, I would say brandy. So let's say we find some. I think it's ES&J.
All
I'm
right.
not a big brandy drinker, but we'll say it's your sort of run-of-the-mill brandy. Just as a shout out to the Northwoods.
Sounds good. Run-of-the-mill brandy. We've got the flask with the brandy next to it. We decide, for the fun of it, to fill the flask up because we just take it with us whenever we want. We have a little bit of a... We found this cabin.
Good for those
We're very
cold
excited
nights.
about this. We're feeling safe. We already took out one zombie. We haven't observed anybody else around us. We're still going to look around a little bit, but maybe for tonight we fortify, I think. We fortify
Yeah.
and catch our breath. We've been walking for half a day, had a little battle.
Board up the windows.
Yes.
So what do we do? What do we do
Block
to the
the
windows?
doors.
What are you talking about? Like, where are we getting this wood and stuff?
We're in the woods.
We're in the woods.
So, okay, when I say...
Branches, millions of branches?
thick
We're not making
branches
lumber.
Would,
Yeah,
even thick
right.
branches would provide some protection.
Yeah, some
Right,
sort
fair
of
enough.
resistance.
Why are we boarding up the windows?
furniture.
I agree with you. I just want you to say it. Why are we boarding up the windows?
Okay, so I have two reasons for this. First of all, then other people can't see in.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody's trying to break in, probably with enough force, you could break through boarding up, but that's going to give us an extra probably minute or two for us to grab stuff and get out.
This cabin, it appears that this cabin actually did have a battery, a backup energy source, but that might have been left on when this ranger, met his demise because it's all worn out right now.
Sure. Well, I would suggest not turning lights on in general anyways.
Yeah.
Just if
anything
we're...
that attracts attention.
Could we make like
Exactly.
a light room, like one room that's super duper blacked out so that we can use it if we do like need light at nighttime or something like that? You know what I mean? Like maybe it's the kitchen or something, right? Like we super black out the kitchen windows just in case we want one candle at night for one reason or another.
Yeah, to cook or...
If
Crystal-Lee
you,
doesn't like
if you
it.
must, I
What
would.
if you want to read?
Well, here, let me actually tell you a little story now from
Let's
real
do it.
life. So I once for a vacation spent a month on an island that did not have electricity.
Okay.
And what I found is that very quickly my sleep pattern adjusted to
The sun.
The sun.
Yep. Dude,
So-
you go camping for even a week or two and you do that.
Yeah.
It's great.
So I feel like we're gonna start getting up with the sun. We're gonna be up all day. Maybe in
Not
the
a lot of late night hour stuff.
There's not going to be a lot of late night hours, and even in the winter when it's getting dark earlier, it's up north Wisconsin. It's going to be snowing. The moonlight is going to reflect off of the snow and light it enough.
It's very
Yeah.
bright
that
up there.
unless you're reading, which I'm just going to say maybe don't do at night, you'll have enough that you could, get up to use the bathroom or just sit to have a
Yeah.
conversation. Like you're going to have enough
Sure.
light so that you are not going to need the
Go out on the
electric
roof or
lights.
something.
Moonlight
Yeah.
is very powerful up there because there
Yes.
isn't anything to kind
true.
of block it out.
Exactly.
Except for the forest itself. And really, you'd only need some extra lighting when it's a new moon.
Although by this point we can assume most electricity is out that's not run off of a dam
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
across the world.
That is fair. So we hunker down, we fortify, a couple days go by. And we realized, we never actually checked that shed out back, is what happened.
Right.
I mean, we got a little excited about everything. We just kind of laid low. Yes,
Did we
Tony?
decide what to do with the flask? It's E&J brandy, by the way. Did we decide who...
Oh, who's responsible for it?
Yeah.
Let's say, is it a priority?
I think as a short-term water solution, especially if we have people running out on sort of supply runs, it could be useful as simply
water.
a container, not necessarily
not the brandy in
for...
there. Pour that brandy back into the bottle.
I mean, we have a nice night. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need cups. We can just pass the bottle between us.
I think we're past that. We've probably already like eaten a squirrel or two or something.
So who's going to make the
we're
runs?
not 6 years into this.
Who's going to make runs into the city?
Right.
I would say that would probably be me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll happily do it too.
Or I would at least volunteer for it.
Sure,
that
certainly.
would be something I would
certainly
offer.
You seem most like durable and prepared.
That is
for those
the
type of
best
situations.
euphemism for my body type that
I'm comfortable doing it too. We might trade off a little bit. We're for
absolutely.
it. But we realize that there
We'll
actually
put it on
might
my
be
list.
some resources we do need to pick up. We are close to the city there. I mean, close enough. Half a day.
I would say town, not
Like-
city.
Well, yeah, the town.
Those are not very
The town of
huge,
Ashland, where I mean, let's face it. If we
areas.
walked there, it'd be at least a day from where we are. I think it's like
Yeah.
hours and hours.
it'd be a good walk.
So we're not sure what to do exactly. We could go back to the RV, I suppose, but there's not a lot of gas. We're only going to be able to do that once or twice. We checked the back. Shed, as I said.
Yep.
And we are incredibly excited to find a mountain bike.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
So we do find said mountain bike, but attached to that mountain bike are the CycleFire bar plug lights for $10. They're weather-resistant lights that brighten up the bar caps of your handlebars with red LED lights so that cars can see you from behind when you're riding your bike.
Right. So great for before the zombie apocalypse, but for now, I'm ripping those off the bike.
This mountain bike's awesome, but I think we ditched these silly red lights.
Yeah.
I think there's a great as signaling otherwise.
Right. So
Yeah.
we might keep the
May
lights,
hang on
but
to
take them off the bike.
Yes.
Okay, now we don't have lasers. Maybe we could divvy these out. Each of us take one, and we
Yeah.
could use it as we approach.
Sure.
Here we go. Each of us takes one of these, and we just keep it on our person or whatever, and we know to keep it visible as we reapproach the cabin whenever we do.
Agreed.
Love it.
Great.
Perfect.
Love it. Oh, that's a good one. I was not expecting that at all. But we
Although
do.
we will have to use these sparingly, as I'm sure they're run on batteries.
Well, that's true. And I guess if you only use them a few seconds every time.
Yeah, most lights like this will have a
have
significant amount of hours that you
Yeah.
can use them.
Did we just
so.
do any perimeter stuff? Did we do any like ropes with cans and stuff like that?
Oh, I'm sure we could.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll say there's some sort of basic
We have
perimeter
some
defense.
limited perimeter.
Or warning system in some way, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's only been a day or two in this cabin so far, but we'll probably build something like that up. So then we do know that we always want to approach the cabin from a certain direction, and we know to use these lights sparingly as we do. And until they go out, that's great. And we will be able to do some. Now that we have a mountain bike, I think, within an afternoon, we can ride into town now and get what we need and come back. Maybe someone will be using your backpack, Krista-Lee. I'm
I
not
can
sure.
share. I'm okay with this.
All right, that's fine. So, Tony, let's say you actually are the first one to head out here, all right? You say, do you know what? I'll take it. I'll do this. I'm just really happy we found this mountain bike. We kind of need general supplies. There's a little bit of food in there, maybe a little bit of staples, but it's very clear we're not going to last long.
Yeah.
So you hop on the bike and you start heading towards Ashland.
Bring some
Tony,
seeds.
an avid biker, does just fine going along. Now, what would your plan of attack be as you went towards Ashland? Would you try to go through the wilderness? Would you try to hit a highway?
Assuming we do have a mountain bike, I think the highways. I mean, even the
Take the highway,
highways
but
in
be
this.
cautious, kind of thing. We're only 6 months in.
Assuming I don't have any lights on my bike,
Yeah.
I would take the highways not only for visibility because mountain biking, especially if you can't see well, is going to be very dangerous.
It's true.
And you could run fairly silently on road.
Compared to the...
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Could make
So
a lot
not
of
only is
crunch
it-
and grunch in the forest.
Not only is it easier, you're probably going to be quieter. Now,
and if you
that being-
can spot
you-
something far away, you just get to the side of the road.
Right. You can also spot danger from further away. And you have a quick escape if need be. So I would probably approach it that way until you get closer to the city, in which I would then Probably approach from the north side along Lake Superior, so that if I did need to make a quick escape, I could do it that way. Yes, I'd be kind of boxing myself in, but at least I wouldn't be leading them back towards us.
Oh, that's true.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's very nice. That's very smart.
And I can also know that no one is following me from behind.
That's true.
So that's probably how I would approach, sort of, probably go around to the east, or I suppose west, but probably east based on how the geography is. Sneak up along the shoreline, and then go into town that way.
Fair enough. Well, you make it into town. You're doing fine. You're coming in through what?
I rolled a 20 on my...
Yeah.
I feel I'm getting a little role-playing game here.
I should have brought my dice.
I know, right?
I know. I feel like maybe next year when we do this, we actually literally have Jamie.
That'd be kind of fun.
Like DM us in a one-off zombie story.
That would
We
be
do a
awesome.
one-off zombie episode, and he has to somehow cleverly work this stuff into his story. But
That's
because at the
good.
end of the day, it's just an excuse to have a conversation and have a fun story that we're
Oh,
telling.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I love it, and it's interesting too how things change. Of course, like there's some things where it's like, oh, that's a great technology, wouldn't apply in Zombie Land, or there's one where it's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
great, but it would actually work really good this way in Zombie World.
Right.
Zombie World, I think is what they call it. So Tony, you get in and you find a couple staples. You do have, I think we probably gave you Krista-Lee's backpack to get in there.
Makes sense.
Maybe we've even used some. Oh, we got the climbing rope. I don't know. Maybe we've used some of that for perimeter, but I almost feel like that's wasting the rope back at the cabin.
We could probably find some sort of vine or something like that in the area.
I agree. So Tony, as you get in there, you do actually find a small mom and pop sporting goods shop, and you're surprised to find a hydro flask, vacuum insulated pint cup. What are your thoughts?
I can also personally vouch for these for camping before the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, really?
They are lovely. They're sort of double-walled, vacuum insulated. Very nice. Will definitely keep your stuff either cold or warm.
Very good. Normally they retail for about $22, but something you want to grab?
I'm gonna leave this behind.
Whoa!
I think I don't see the application for it based on it's not practical as a sort of large. It takes up a lot of space. It's not very mobile, so like the flask.
You're right.
Whereas
16
you can
ounces. It doesn't have a clip or anything.
Yeah, whereas I can slip that in my back pocket on a quote-unquote mission, whatever. And then we have the larger water storage. This is sort of bulky. It's not very easily transportable in this situation.
We don't need cold water.
Yeah,
That
cold is also
irrelevant
not
to survival.
a big thing, and also hot is not really. I mean, that's
At this point.
a luxury at this point. So I would,
Exactly.
I think I would
That's-
leave the hydro flask.
That is
Yeah,
definitely
maybe
the
if
word
we
I
were
was gonna
camping
use.
back in the olden days of the normal world, it'd be
Oh,
fun.
it's very nice.
Sure,
Yeah.
it's fun, but it's not
Very nice.
necessary.
But
Yeah.
it's due to the space constraints and other things, I would leave this.
Sure thing.
Luxury definitely is the word for this.
Yeah.
To describe it in this type of situation where we are focused solely on survival and practicalness, and that's like a cup with special features, but nothing that's really practical.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We can find cups a dime a dozen out in the Northwoods.
I know how to make cups out of paper.
Yeah.
I'm sure the ranger station had some paper.
Tony,
yeah.
when you made it to the store, where did you park your bike? What'd you do with it?
Strapped it to his back.
Seriously, almost.
Did you
Actually,
lock it up?
depending on the bike, yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
probably
almost.
could. That might be a reason for the rope, actually. But it might not be as easily sort of deployable at that point.
Not
Sure.
right.
So
Well, you've pulled up. You weren't expecting to find this sporting goods shop. It's small and it's not incredibly stocked, but it does have a couple treasures in it.
I'd bring it in with me.
Bring it
I'd
in
leave it
with you.
probably by the door because a zombie's not going to acknowledge it or otherwise deal with it in any way.
Yeah, fair enough.
So then I can. It's not encumbering me, but I can also. It's also right near my route of escape.
That's good to know because the door, just outside, you do actually hear kind of like a weird rustle as you're looking at this hydro flask. A little bit of noise, maybe. You've caught in a little bit of attention, but you can't tell what it is. So you dive back in deeper into the store, but no one's noticed you yet or anything like that. No one or thing has noticed
good.
you. As you sit there and wait, I assume you would probably just hunker down.
Oh, yeah, you gotta wait for the danger to pass if you can.
Fair enough. You look to your left and you're surprised to find a W2 Sport Zip top.
That would be surprising.
Oh,
Good transition. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. This is something I would 100% grab.
You get very excited about this, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about what this is. It's a weightless wool quote from Ibex.
Yes. So it's generally for warm weather use, which, if we're assuming 6 months from now,
Kinda
is
starting to get into.
on the way, right? It's mostly nylon, but it's a moisture wicking thing, especially for active, in this case, trail running. I would say for mountain biking specifically.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking you're going to use this or David's going to use it when taking trips into town.
Yeah, in the recon. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. You grab it, you put it in the bag, huh? Put it in your backpack?
I do for sure.
Sounds good. Now, this is an interesting little twist here. You're not sure if you can go out front yet. You haven't heard any noises in quite a while. It might be safe, but you're obviously trying to be cautious. And just as you're going towards the front, you do spot this amazing backpack.
Oh, it is lovely, isn't it?
This let's see here. I'm losing what it's called. Is it called the Deva?
I believe it's a Baltoro.
There it is. A men's
From
Baltoro from
Gregory.
Gregory.
Yes.
It's an iconic large capacity backpack. It has tons of doohickeys. It actually looks fantastic. But you have a backpack on you already. What do you do?
I do. This strikes me, and looking, it says it's available in 85, 75, or 65 liters, which is a lot. Those
Yeah.
are very big backpacks.
Yep.
I'm going to cast message
Yes.
and say...
It's successful. Yeah.
Sorry, I play a Winter Witch on Sundays.
Love it.
I cast message and say, you need to take this.
Yeah.
Will be one of our prep bags that's set
I
aside
think it's
in case we
obvious
have
you need to
move
take
again.
this. It's a little bit of how do you do it?
I think you
Because
take
now,
that.
I mean, there's a little bit. You've got some.
Oh, you've got the
You got some
bike.
action out front. I mean, not necessarily.
shirt.
Maybe that action is past. You got your bike out front. You're probably going out of the front of the store unless you get creative. You've already got a backpack on. What do you do?
Put the backpack
Put
you have
backpack
on
in the
into this
backpack.
bag.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Assuming I would say we'd probably have like a 50-liter backpack.
Ask him. I don't know. What is
Sure.
it?
We'll say we have a 50-liter
You do have some of your staples in there
internal
already.
frame.
Yeah, let's say your bag is half full.
Yeah. I think strongly securing this isn't as important, so I could probably even strap it to the outside of the bag, although
true.
that might leave an easy place to grab. So
That's
I
fair.
might...
Because you might have,
I
it
might
might have to be a
take
quick getaway here.
Sure, I might take empty the smaller backpack into the larger backpack and literally wear them one on top of the other, with
Yeah.
the one being empty and the second one strapped as tightly as I could to compress it as much as possible.
Wise.
That's a good plan.
Very wise.
So you go for it, and you're
Good.
you're probably gonna grab your bike here. It's getting kind of late. It's still gonna be half an afternoon just to get back to us in time. You don't have a light on your bike or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you go for it, and we'll just say to keep things moving along right now, there is a zombie out front, but you dodge it with ease.
Sure.
I mean, at this point,
As you do.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's old hat now.
It is
At this
indeed.
point, we're probably
Basically,
all faster and
at this
stronger.
point, at this point,
Yeah.
the rule is don't be stupid, which was
Right.
secure the bags.
Right.
You don't necessarily. All right. So you hit it. You're riding the bike back. You're coming back, and the ride is going just fine. It's late. It's becoming evening time, and as you pull up with all of your supplies, we're all happy to see you, but the girls have actually found something that washed up on the river, which is a couple 100 feet away from the cabin right now. They get very excited because they found I'm reading from the wrong spot, pardon me, the jalapeno
Get it?
river surfboard.
I didn't the first time I read it.
Jalapeno.
Yeah.
River surfboard. It is available for $1,300.
Oh my god!
If you want to go river surfing. It's specifically designed to surf on rivers. And
It is pretty awesome.
it is washed up on shore. What do we think of this, guys? We're all back together.
We can use this to help board up a window. We could also put
We're going to
it...
use a $1,300 panel to board up a window?
No, I think that...
Can we use it on the river at all? I have no idea.
Use it as a weapon.
Yeah,
I
that was
would
my
say-
other thought, except for it's like 7 feet.
What if we have to cross the river? Could we throw a rope over the river and use it as our bridge, our bridge or something, our ferry?
Like an
This-
escape pod for the river. for a body of water.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a ferry, I can absolutely see that. I agree that we should put it to use in the meantime for something like a barricade.
Okay.
But assuming we have unlimited space, I think this is a specialized thing that might be first on the list to leave behind.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Like this goes into storage.
This could also be a nice sort of, we did specifically choose a location that wasn't terribly far from the Apostle Islands, which is
It's true.
it is a national lake shore. In the event that we needed to emergency evacuate, this could transport probably 2 people in the summer. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it'd be useful in the winter at all, but
No, in the winter, if we have to run, we could actually. Well, maybe if we're not
like
running.
on the water.
Well, I was thinking almost like a sled across the snow for.
Ooh. Though those fins on the bottom are prohibiting.
Oh, now that I'm looking at it again, yeah, fins. Never mind. Okay.
We cut them off or
It's
something.
an interesting
but yeah.
idea, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got that because I moved once in the middle of the winter, and yeah, we used sleds.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, as a sort of
We hang on to this thing as
Multi-purpose
storage
hauling
and
thing.
use it as a ferry when we need. If we.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
If we
very
need to.
okay with dumping it later.
Yep.
Fair enough. I'm for that. Okay, so life continues on as normal for us. We're there for a couple weeks and all of that. And it starts to get pretty clear that we need to seriously restock now. We've been doing just fine and everything, but we decided to take a group trip back into Ashland. There was a couple stores that Tony saw that he didn't quite have a chance to get to when he was on his bike, and we think we're going to do that. How do we do this? Do we go back to the RV? I assume it's still there, personally. We do have enough gas for a trip or two, we assume. But also then we may not be able to use that RV to get anywhere else if we need it.
So here is why. Okay, I would say
We have to go into town is what we've decided.
right. If we take the RV, I think at this point, and probably I should have mentioned it earlier, I would have suggested putting like a log or something across any driveway so that from the entrance, nobody would necessarily think there was anything up there.
Sure.
But we could move that and then move it back after.
Yep.
Sure.
But I want to make sure we move that back when we leave.
So when we parked the RV the first time, I think we parked it somewhat casually. We really weren't sure what we were looking for. We didn't know we'd come across this cabin
Right.
a few weeks ago.
I think our issue with all 4 of us going is you can do sort of individual scouting missions with the bike, but with 4 people going, that necessitates foot travel. In that case, I would say we take the RV.
Right.
Because if we go on foot and then come back to the RV, we're going to need to move it anyway because odds are we're going to have some trail us, essentially.
That's
we're going
true.
to
And
have
maybe
to
with this
leave
RV,
them.
maybe we could find a little bit of gas and stuff like that anyway. I'm not sure. If we're all working together.
Actually, for a town, there's got to be a gas
We're all working
station
together.
or some
Yeah.
abandoned cars we can siphon, whatever.
Absolutely. So we decide to head into town. Do we go back to Ashland or do we go to one of the other neighboring towns?
I don't know, Tony. How
I feel like
has
Ashland's the way
Ashland
to
been?
go.
Yeah.
I mean, he spotted a few. He said that there was probably some other opportunities there. You didn't see a lot of humans. I know you mentioned when you came back.
I think we used that first trip as not only a gathering mission, but also a reconnaissance mission. I say we stick to the area that we know.
Throw the bike on
That's
the RV.
wise.
Throw the bike on
Absolutely.
the RV. Bring it with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there's some sort of rack on there somewhere.
Do a little
Toss
bit.
it on the roof.
For sure.
Bungee
Do a
it to
little
the
bit.
roof.
Well, fantastic. Well, we head into town. We take the same route that you took on the bike, Tony. We come in from the waterfront, or do we just kind of try to? Maybe it actually might
we
just
have
be.
to stick more on the roads this time.
I think it's
Yeah.
more the
Yeah.
shortest
I
route
would say
possible.
the wider roads, the better, because our vehicle is so large.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we don't want to get caught up or anything. We want to make we want to make as little attention as possible. But if we're going to bring a big thing in, maybe take the big roads. At this point, it's starting to seem like those aren't. Panic is not on those roads anymore, anyway.
No longer.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be sporadic, abandoned cars.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Because I don't imagine there's a lot of everybody's going to flood to those areas. Those are pretty sparse, even in kind of like vacation times.
right, it's true. As we get closer to the town, we aren't quite in Ashland yet. We can't help but notice a small makeshift campsite on the side of the road, and we go and investigate. And we are excited to find the Strong Volt Smart Charger, which typically retails from $50 to $150. I think it's just hysterical to say what these things cost because they cost nothing in a zombie apocalypse, so it's fun to say the price.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we find the solar charger. What do you guys think?
Leave it.
We gotta leave it. I was thinking keep it.
I have a solar charger like this. What would we use it on?
Yeah, I guess if you're camping, it's more like you use it on your phone, you use it on your whatever, your radio and things like that.
I'm not sure
are we even living with electricity anymore? Do we even need it anymore?
No, and I'd like to point out there was a solar charger on the kayak, and we left that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Or was it, or was it just a rechargeable
It was a solar charger.
I thought it was just a battery charger.
Oh, was
and
it?
a
I
battery.
thought it was just a battery
Oh,
pack.
maybe it was.
It was a battery pack.
Oh, you're right. My bad. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know. I feel like you never know when you might need a little electricity. I'm serious about that.
I guess what for?
So
Are you
obviously
thinking
we don't
as
need
like
phones.
an offensive weapon? Because I don't
Maybe
think
lights, not lights.
See,
We've got to come across some kind of technology at some point where we're going to need some electricity, right? Or will we not anymore? Maybe it does change everything.
I'm thinking at this point we're accustomed to living without it.
Yeah.
And electricity is not a survival necessity. That's a very new thing to humans.
Yeah.
Though we could
We
use
don't need
it
like
to,
the electric can opener.
The only thing I could say we might use it for is
Charging
if we
our
could
bat-
find a rechargeable batteries, we could use that to recharge our sort of mobile battery devices.
Yes, I agree. Like even our little lights, we just got worried about
Right.
these little lights that we took off the
flashlights.
bikes. We were saying, oh, they're going to die eventually. Well, maybe we just hang on to this one little solar charger and can charge those batteries
Right.
up once in a while if
Yeah.
we get a little 9-volter.
That would be the only thing I would.
I don't think it's
see
too
it
much
as
of a
necessary.
burden. I agree that it's
No,
not super useful.
It's something we can take with us and just chuck
I'll
in
carry
the
it
cabin
for now.
when we
In
need
fact,
it.
I'll even
Okay.
carry it for now. I put it in my
All right.
pocket.
All right.
But I would say we've largely moved on to, as far as flashlights and things like that, if we could find it, more like Faraday flashlights or hand crank.
Yeah. I mean,
Flashlights.
we don't have any of those yet, for the record.
In theory.
Yeah, in
Right.
theory, right. Yeah. We have not found those in our story yet. So we continue, we pull up into Ashton, we go into one of these other stores that we wanted to take a look at, and we find the hand-cranked generator that's ready for anything. The X100 Power Hub usually retails for $250. Hand-cranked generator, puts out AC
Holy
power. It looks
tamale.
like we could run any electrical device off of it if we needed to for a short period of time. What do we think?
It does also have a solar hookup, and we just grabbed the solar panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw
We'll
that.
keep that in mind.
This thing's not small, though.
I leave this one
Okay.
for sure.
Is it just too big for you?
Whatever there is, there's definitely a weight and size.
I feel like if we could get this into the
to-
RV, though, I feel like it's worth bringing back. I don't know why. Maybe it isn't.
Well, for me, this screams like large electronics.
Yeah.
It strikes
Would we
me
ever
that
need
we
to-
would only
For-
have small
yeah.
electronics at this point.
This
Would
is
we
I'm
ever
like
need
willing
to
to
like
charging the
hear-
whole
run a
house.
would we ever need to
I
run
don't
like a
think it's
like
that
a
Well, I mean,
radio
like-
dish or something or a
But even like a
pump, a water pump or something
like charging
that.
a microwave
that's
or
true, I guess.
Once in a while, a water pump. A microwave. Yeah, let's go get a microwave. A 500-watt.
I'm sure there's a microwave in this cabin.
And
we
crank
could
that
use.
microwave. If you guys say no,
I-
I'm okay with it.
I leave this in favor of the smaller, more mobile. Assuming we only have small electronics at this point.
Fair enough.
I think there is some value in small electronics. I'm not sure there is in larger
It
ones at
doesn't
this
look
point.
that large though, but it might be heavy.
Well, but
Well,
what it
based
runs
on like the size of
would
those
be.
AC plugs, it's like maybe
Maybe like a foot.
yeah. I mean, it's big enough
It's
that
not terribly.
you don't
big,
strap it to your
but
back. You pick it up and carry it with you. It's like the size of a medium-sized cooler, I'd say.
I'm
Just
not sure.
different-
I guess in the end, I'm just not sure what we'd run on it.
Yeah, and I honestly really don't know
Yeah,
either. I
I
just
mean,
feel
that's
like
really
hand crank
nice.
generators like something you don't pass up.
It is really nice, but if we have solar panels, most of those are valued
Little
at
solar panels.
several
Yeah.
because they're running
thousand
small
hours
electronics
anyway.
Really,
right?
it's just little lights. So how do you guys feel about the next thing
Probably
we
not as
find in the
noisy to
store,
charge.
which is of course the CamSafe Z25? There's a theme here with these last few.
I like this one.
It's a bag. It's a case that is designed to keep small electronics safe. It has a fabric mesh. It's slash proof. What?
That's that was the part that sold me. Because
I'm gonna do
That sounds great.
even if we don't use it as a bag, I think this is very useful as a sort of reinforcement for whatever fabric that we have.
Yeah, fair enough.
You could
And
almost
maybe we
use it
as a
as
backpack
armor.
anyway. Maybe it's just a great
And
backpack.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. If we take this, we're up to 3 backpacks, which
Yeah.
is, again, 3 packs we can have ready to go for when we want to leave.
Very true.
Just for if we need to leave.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I
do.
think
This
only
one
have
seems like
2
this one's the
backpacks at
tank.
this point,
This one's the
right.
tank of the backpacks. This is the armor one.
It's the armored one, but it's also smaller.
Well, that's true.
So it's good for mobile, expensive stuff or
Well,
valuable stuff.
So what would we use
So
it
we've
for?
got basically like,
Put food in it? Do we put...
I would say we put it on whoever's the sort of lead, although I guess also tail. Whoever's in the most dangerous situation, this
Yeah.
is going to be the most durable.
Yeah.
You keep the large 65 to 85 liter pack in the sort of most secure space that it
Yeah.
can carry the most. This one's the most mobile, most durable. Personally.
Awesome. I'm for it. I am for it. And last,
So who gets it?
who takes it? Well, who? I mean, assuming again
guess
the
it's
rules
just
have changed a little
flexible.
bit. It's who's responsible for it once we get it back to the cabin.
Well, man, I'm already responsible for a backpack.
And I think I have a backpack too, unless I've
Backpack.
lost track.
No.
I
Well,
don't
we
have
have
one?
we have the
get
one
that.
that I grabbed,
Yeah.
I
which
don't mind
isn't
taking
to
it
say
unless you want it
that.
to be, but I don't mind it having like the weird one.
Why
Yeah,
don't you
I
take
delivered it
Yeah.
to the
I'm okay
camp.
with that.
so
I'll carry the weird one.
perfect.
Okay.
I'm for it.
So you have the one you stole, and then he's got the...
So Dave's got the large one,
Safe pack. Yeah.
the 65 to 85. Or are you saying
I have
this
the armored one.
Oh, Dave's got
Right
the
now, I
armored
think
one.
I have the armored one.
I imagine you're significantly faster than me, so that would probably be a good.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Perfect.
take it. Fantastic.
Great.
As we exit the store, we decided we've also got a couple consumables. We're very excited, but we want to get back. Last but not least, we find ourselves the victory blanket, which is a tech.
And also thematically appropriate.
Yes. We have
find the victory
one
blanket.
zombie apocalypse.
How do you guys feel about this? It's for insulating bags. There was only one bed in the cabin, or maybe we'll say like there was bunk beds. So we obviously have to make do with some of the things. We got the
And we have a sleeping bag.
The sleeping
Right.
Are
bag
you
with
kidding
us.
me? I will curl up in bed with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean at the
I
end
mean,
of
if
the
we
day,
have bunk beds,
Yeah.
in my mind, there's 4 of us, 2 bunk beds. That's
it's
enough.
like we're covered.
We're
Yeah.
covered.
We're covered. Fair enough.
I don't kick.
I think this is a no-brainer. I
promise.
think we take
I
this.
steal blankets.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
I do a little bit too.
Normally this blanket retails for $50 up to $80, and it's basically it's a
Dang.
flannel, waterproof, and mud and sand resistant bottom.
This is made by Nemo Equipment.
Yeah.
My backpacking tent that I have is a Nemo backpack or is a Nemo tent. It is fantastic in the rain. I adore it till the day is long. So I do not doubt anything they're saying. It is a great
right.
brand.
Wonderful.
All right. Excellent.
We grab it. We jump back into the RV. We've made some good finds. We've left some things behind that we felt we didn't need.
People mostly.
Mostly people.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. And we head back to our
Hey, I've
cabin.
been saying it the whole episode.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
guys, did we find gas or not? I think
Perhaps we just charge off into the sunset, Dave.
Yeah, I think we get that RV and we're driving back to our cabin
To our
as
bunk
the sun
beds.
goes down to our bunk beds to survive another 6 months of survive another year of zombie apocalypse.
That's right.
Yeah.
Until
Tell you
next
what,
year.
If this is the same, guys, if this is the same cast next year, which it might be, we have to pick up from this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
All right.
Go to, like,
Continuing adventures.
Minneapolis.
Or maybe we
Or
do that. It's
something.
been a year later, but we'll keep the. It might be the same
Yes.
narrative universe.
We'll figure it
I
out.
am totally for it. This is always fun. I love doing these weird zombie episodes. It was a blast. Any standouts for anybody right now? The things that we found here based on this gear junkie list.
I would definitely consider buying this blanket.
Yeah.
What else? It's a very nice looking backpack, although it's significantly bigger than I would normally need. Sorry. Oh, and the reflective the night blaze things
Would be
for
cool for you.
Viking. Those are my big takeaways.
Yeah. The sleeping bag looks nice for me. I think I'm partial to my weird armored backpack. It doesn't.
It's really nice. Yeah, they say it's significant or specifically for electronics like DSLR cameras,
even in the
laptops,
real world,
things
I'm
like that.
saying.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But absolutely.
V, what stuck out for you in the real world context of real world?
I love kayaks.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
really stuck out to me. That whole
That'd be a
it's
lot of fun.
So souped up. It's crazy.
This river surfing thing could be fun, but I feel like you'd have to really get good at it first. The kayak looks awesome. And you like to fish anyway, that's like just made for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The growler, of course, but the Skytrack really stood out to me. I like that kind of
The dog Skytrack thing. I couldn't help but think about in the real world that would have been perfect for example, my sister and brother-in-law just a month ago. Krista-Lee, anything stand out for you that caught your attention for real life stuff?
Right. Two things. The sleeping bag. But that's because, I don't know, there's something nice about a good, warm, cozy sleeping bag, you know what I mean?
If it's customized just to fit you.
Yeah,
that's right.
That looks nice. But then the other thing is the backpack. But I just kind of... Okay, so I travel a lot, and I generally prefer to travel with a backpack, you know, so you're not, like, checking luggage and stuff. And this one looks like... I mean, that looks like I wouldn't even have to fill it.
Sure.
And then go on one of my like little month-long treks without electricity.
And I will say, it says here it retails for $300 to $350. That is a steal for a backpack.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's a really good price.
A good backpacking backpack. That's really redundant, but I keep thinking like, as opposed to a school backpack.
Oh, it's really not. Yeah, that's
I mean,
it's two different things.
Right. That is a good deal. I mean, I have one that looks... I'm gonna guess this is slightly bigger than the one I have, but the one I have is very much same style, and it was about that much.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, this was a huge episode, a big meaty episode here. It was a lot of fun. V, where can people find you on Twitter? Let's just wrap this up fast because we had a great time. It was fun talking with you guys, but seriously, this episode is like almost, I think we're just shy of 2 hours right now. It was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll break it up into 2 parts. I'm not sure. It's a holiday special. And like, let's face it, to this narrative it was fun.
Yeah.
V-Labs, where can people find you?
You can find me at bear_Annika on Twitter.
Love it. Tony Stiglich.
I am at Tony_Stig.
Marvelous. And Krista-Lee Malone.
I am at Gamer Anthro.
There it is. We love it when people tweet the show at Technophiles Pod. We always love it when listeners give us ideas for episodes or things they'd like us to talk about, which is, again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, where this whole thing spawned from a couple years ago. We love it if people tweet those ideas to us at Technophiles Pod, or maybe mention something on our Facebook page, which you can find us just by searching Technophiles. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher by searching Technophiles, or go to our actual website, technophilespodcast.com. where you can find links to this episode and some of the other shows we do, like the Technophiles Newscast and Branching Dialogue. Guys, I'll see you in a week. We only have like 6 episodes left, and we have our season finale, our final live show, our 3rd live show with Stuart Malthrop coming up, which let's plug that real quick, Krista-Lee, in case anyone's listening. It's going to be over at the Digital Humanities Lab at UWM.
On November 18th, doors open at 6, show starts at 6:30.
Marvelous. In fact, I'd be willing to bet people actually saw the ad here on this episode while we were journeying to Mequon in our storyline. They probably saw you and I telling them to click on other links, and they're not catching this second half, which is actually poorly planned. But I'm just joking. All right, great. I'll see you guys in a week or so. Until then, you can tweet me, David Geisler, on Twitter at Rapture Paint. Have a good night, guys. And happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, yes.